Get ready for an empowering monthly oracle and tarot card reading to help you navigate April 2025. Hi, I'm Ethan, and in this reading I'll explore guidance for your personal development, spiritual growth, and manifesting your intentions. This is a two-part reading, so be sure to watch the first part before the pick a card reading. This second part includes an additional personal message and reveals your support crystal for the month ahead. Welcome to part one of your reading, and for this part of your reading it is a collective reading for all those that find it, but please just take what resonates with you. And first I am working with the Visconti Tarot today, and as you can see it's a gilded reproduction of it's one of the world's oldest tarot decks. In fact, it's the world's oldest tarot deck, and it came from Italy. And if you would like a full walkthrough of this deck and my thoughts on how it works and what I think to it, then just let me know in the comments below. I'm only working with the major arcana today, and that will let me see the major theme of your month and where your power lies. And your card of the month is the Empress, and your power lies in your ability to nurture your goals and projects or aspirations. So this is a feminine power, and I believe this is all about tapping into your emotional intelligence, taking care of your creative projects. And you might have abandoned something in the past. If you have a think about if there's anything you've shelved or dropped off on, particularly if it was something you were thinking about doing or started doing for the new year, and then you've got distracted, life took over and you've just left it be. You're being encouraged to look at that again. Now's the time to jump back into things. And if you want to see results, you have to put the time on a regular basis into it. So if you think about if you're looking after a plant, a house plant, or even a tree in your garden, a fruit tree, before it bears the fruit, you'll have to do things to help it. So watering it, taking care of it, removing dead leaves. So our projects and the things we want to manifest, or anything you're working on in your life that you're trying to achieve, will need regular looking after, nurture. So that is your tip for this month, what you need to do to move forward. And you should be able to see results, or it will help you manifest what you want if you do this. And I really appreciate you being here, and if you've enjoyed this reading so far, could you please give it a thumbs up? And if you know anyone who could also benefit from this too, could you please share it with them? I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, and your first card is Cycles of Life. So if you think about the Empress card's message, it's about a process, right? Trusting the process of things that is needed to achieve what you want as the end result. So we can't force things, can we? So you can't stop watering a plant just because it's not flowering yet, or your little fruit tree isn't producing fruit yet. So think about things like that, and things have to develop and will unfold at the perfect time. So again, if you think about our flower analogy, there's a time in which that flower is going to actually open, and you can help things along, absolutely, but you can't force it to flower out of season. So the moon, if you think about the moon, it waxes and wanes. So that again is talking about these kind of natural rhythms and cycles that are going on in the background, and we are aware of some of them. And things like astrology, numerology can show us those sort of things, but there is even bigger cycles that we're not aware of. If you think about at the moment, it's a very fiery time going on in the astrological world. With Mercury is still retrograde at the time I'm finishing filming this, and we've got all these planetary alignments going on, and then there's Venus retrograde as well. So if you think about that, for some of you, it might be a time for you to just accept if things you're not seeing the progress you want, that it's just where we are right now, but things will change. So plan and use your time wisely. Think about when the best time is to do the things, maybe to launch something, or to start doing something that you're feeling maybe is not the right time right now, but do the background work, do the groundwork. If you can, do the planning and make sure that when you're at that point, when you are ready to progress things, you've got everything laid out perfectly. And I would also just mention, I think it's around the 7th of April that Mercury will be back direct again. So just bear that in mind in terms of energy shifts. Things might be a little easier after the 7th. Do what you can, follow the Empress's guidance, and take some steps daily towards making things happen. Okay, so next you've got redemption. You have the option to redeem yourself. So think about how redemption can mean having a second chance at something, and to do something that perhaps didn't work out the first time or hasn't worked out before, or even, like I said, something that you've given up. I feel that there's a possibility there's something you kind of thought, okay, that isn't working for me, this doesn't work, you've moved along, but perhaps you need to give something a second chance. Perhaps you need to give something another go. For those of you that are having some difficulties with relationships, you might have to listen to someone, give someone a second chance to at least explain themselves. And maybe it's someone that's let you down in the past and it's been asking to have a second chance. You might have to consider that. Make sure you've got all your facts there, and if your gut feels, if it feels off, then absolutely ignore that. But look for things that you can do to also prove to others that you are serious. Perhaps something you applied for or tried to do and you were rejected, and now this is your second chance to prove. Sometimes it does take a second go at something, like a job, for example, to prove to them, and it can show how keen you are. So think about things like that. It's going to depend on who you are and where you are in your life and what you're needing to do. But there's this energy of second chances. So be genuine, be committed, and do what you can. It could be that you just weren't ready in the past for something or someone, or something wasn't working out before, but sometimes things change. So the same thing will alter because of the time period. As again, we think of these cycles of time and divine timing and the perfect timing. It could be that something now is more likely to work for you. And next we have the eternal self. So what I think this card means is, I think it's about your higher self. So it's a spiritual message for you. And if you're unsure about things, it could be time for your inner wisdom to be tapped into. And you're being told to trust that kind of side to you that's the eternal self. It's your higher self that knows what's best for you. It's kind of like your spirit, your soul, and this is going to guide you better. So you know on a soul level what you need to do, where you need to be, and what you need to be doing. So you need to tap into that and really think about you. Try to separate what society, what's the media is telling you to think, feel, or do. If you've got people in your life that are kind of telling you not to do something, make sure that you're not making decisions based off of other people's beliefs and ideas and opinions, because your higher self knows what's best for you. So tune into that, and what's right for you might not be right for them. So you need to look at it like that, even if things didn't work out for them, but it might be a different story for you. And your higher self will help you with discernment, right? Because we need that kind of higher self discernment with people, information we're receiving around us that's kind of like telling us to go this way, not that way. Finding your truth and your true north. So the next card I've got for you is from the Energy Oracle, and we've got action. Because of things like the Mercury retrograde and things like that that might be kind of pushing back against what you want, then this is like letting you know the reason things aren't taking off or you're not seeing as much progress as you want is because of those energies. We've been told this before, but you are being guided that once the energy shifts, once you move out of this holding pattern, you'll be able to take action again. So don't lose hope or feel that how things are now is how things are going to be for the future or the long term. Soon all that will be over, and you're probably really feeling that itching feeling, like you want to make progress, you want to do things, the stuff I think you wanted to do, and you haven't done it because things haven't been the right time, it's not been the right environment to do those things. So it's now, I feel that you are ready to make these changes, and after the 7th, as I said, things will be a lot easier to move forward with, and you can start taking bolder action steps, right? You'll see more progress, but you'll also be able to do bigger things or start something or put something out into the world, whereas before we were focusing more on the little steps, the nurturing. So starting new things, moving forwards fearlessly like these horses, will become easier as we move through the month. And use what we've learned and use those plans and those figuring out steps that you manage to do in this quieter time to speed things up, right? You don't want to be doing things at the last minute, so use your time wisely and you'll be able to take really guided actions later that are going to come back to you in a positive way. So next we've got your career and money advice from the Indigo Goddess Oracle. We've got fertile. This relates to the Empress card again. And it also shows an egg, and for some of us we have Easter being celebrated, and also for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a symbol of spring. So again, we're seeing this growing energy, but it's also the nurture energy, because you think about an egg, it holds everything, and everything is developing inside, but you can't see it. This is the thing with divine timing and everything we've been talking about, the nurturing. That egg eventually will hatch at the right time. Even though you can't see anything, there is a little person inside here that is ready to come out. So I feel this also represents personal transformation for some of you as well. There's a lot of creative energy available, and you might already be hit by ideas. I think some of you are getting these ideas and that's what's making you feel like I just want to do something, but some things are holding you back from it. So I think you're going to start moving out of that. You need to record any ideas that come for you, inspirations. I think some of you are receiving divine inspiration on future steps or future projects, things you need to be doing. And these, of course, are coming from the higher self. And things you've been holding back on, talking yourself out of, are now becoming closer to you having the right time to do those things. So that could have been your intuition telling you not the right time. So even if it's just a personal art project, something creative, craft related that you want to do, and you haven't been doing it, you're being encouraged to at least use your creativity now, or start to use it as we go through this month. So your guidance for manifesting comes from my little handmade manifesting oracle, and it just has keywords on at the moment. And you've got affirmations. So your words are powerful, whether they are spoken or repeated in your head. So some of you might need to watch with things like negative self-talk. Watch for a voice, your own consciousness talking you out of everything, because that's the ego. So don't talk badly about yourself, either internally or to other people. In fact, talking badly about yourself to other people is a big mistake. And a lot of people do this without realizing how damaging it is, because if you've got frenemies or you've got people that really don't have your best interests at heart, they use that information against you. I've seen that it's happened to me in the past, and it's happened to people I know. So don't constantly show your insecurities to everyone unless you 100% know you can trust them. It's your absolute best friend or a partner you 100% are okay with. Be careful who, when, and where you're sharing other stuff. So in terms of manifestation, the power of words, whether that be an affirmation that's in English, or some of you, maybe if you prefer to work with mantras, that is also powerful too. Again, we're being intentional, so choose affirmations that relate to things, changes you want to see in yourself or the world around you. A lot of people don't know you can use affirmations to manifest, so think about what affirmations. I'd actually come up with affirmations that align with things you're trying to manifest, and then use those on a regular basis. It could be a few minutes in the morning, at night. In fact, using affirmations just before you fall asleep, particularly one affirmation of what you want, will help soak into your subconscious mind and will help you manifest things. Before I get into your pick a card reading, let's look at the main messages again of your reading, and we'll also look for the signs and symbols that I see for you. And if you want to learn more about any of the decks I have used today, check the links in the description. So your power this month is from the Empress, which is about nurturing and nurturing yourself, your goals, and anything you're trying to manifest or work on. And keep doing what you can as often as you can, even if it's just a little bit each day. And don't give up, and try to be patient with things. Things are moving behind the scenes, you just maybe can't see it yet. So think of our egg symbol and the cycles of time that's being shown to us. Use any downtime, or if things aren't moving or don't feel quite right yet, to plan, brainstorm, use ideas, be open to ideas and inspiration, and record them so that when the time is right, when things begin to move a bit and you're feeling more confident about things, then you've got yourself already ready. So after the 7th, as I said, I think things are going to be a bit easier. The signs I see for you are the eagle, which we can see in the shield of the Empress, and I believe up here, it's very small, but that very big bird up there I think is a eagle. So eagles, I think, are about our long distance and long-term goals and views, and you need to be thinking about those things. And it's also about gaining clarity, which I think is a time now to try and get clarity and understand lots of things. So the other symbol I also saw was crowns, which we see on the Empress. Here is a flower crown, and this woman also has a horned crown. So crowns can relate to the crown chakra, but they're usually about our sovereignty, personal power, your wisdom, and trusting your divine wisdom. So the other symbol I saw was roses. So again, roses in this crown here. We've got roses in the egg. Roses can be about self-love. It can relate to a heart chakra, and also to the goddess Venus, which I thought was interesting with the there's a lot of feminine energy here, and then we've got the Venus retrograde as well, could be relevant to some of you. So welcome to part 2, and this part of your reading will give you an additional personal message and a crystal to support you through the month ahead. And I'm using my personal handmade crystal oracle here, and although I can't show you the illustrations yet, you will still get the guidance that you need. So just take a moment to tune in and allow your intuition and higher self to guide you to the card with the message and the guidance that you need to hear, and the crystal that you need for the month ahead. Card 1, card 2, or card 3. Once you have chosen your card, see the video chapters in the bar below the video to jump straight to your message. And if you need longer to choose your card, you can pause the video now. If you picked card 1, then your crystal is Brazili Bluestone, and your message for the month is trust divine timing. So you've got this message twice, because we had a card in the main reading about divine timing. So I had lots of references to this in the reading. You have to trust in divine timing, and you need to know that where you are is exactly where you need to be, even if it feels like it's not, or you don't feel you are where you want to be. It is all part of a bigger plan, and you are where you need to be. There's hidden cycles in nature and in our lives, and a lot of things are going on under the surface that we don't always understand. I know how frustrating it is. And these hidden cycles are operating in your life, and things need to align before things can happen and before they can manifest. You need to sort of surrender to the process sometimes, surrender to current circumstances and what isn't working right now, and just understand that's what's happening. Eventually things will shift, and sometimes there's kind of like a pause or a dip in our lives, in a creative process, in what we're trying to do, and it is quite normal to experience this. And a lot of people will tell you that the universe is preparing you for something when we have these phases where things aren't moving, when we can't do something, or it doesn't feel the right time, when things aren't going the way we want or as fast as we'd like them to happen. You're being prepared. So again, like I said before, you need to use your time wisely, and you need to have a real good think about that. And you have an affirmation this month as well, and the affirmation is, I trust that everything will happen at the perfect time for my highest good. So you could repeat that as often, or when you feel like things aren't moving or you don't seem to think anything's changing in your life, tap into that and repeat those affirmations. And the benefit of Priscilla Bluestone is that the reason it is a perfect crystal for you is because it aligns with astrological cycles. And if you think this was used in Stonehenge and how Stonehenge is kind of this astrological cosmic clock, if you like, depending on your perspective, and understanding time, it assists you with understanding time. And this stone also helps with determination and persistence, which is sometimes needed before we can see what we want to see happen. Now, if you can't get this in your part of the world, or you want an alternative, you could also work with ocean jasper, howlite, and moss agate. And if you're looking for more specific guidance, check out my Pick a Card Readings playlist on my channel, as it has more in-depth and more focused readings. There's also the yearly tarot reading there if you haven't seen it already. And if you're an empath or you're someone who feels overwhelmed by other people's energies, then check out my recent video about crystals to protect your aura. And also I recently uploaded a Q&A video answering common questions I get about crystal grids. So check those out and let me know in the comments which card you picked or which part of this reading most resonated with you. And you can also find my crystal books on Amazon and in other places in the links below the video. And remember to subscribe and select bell notifications so that you never miss a reading from me. Have a great month. If you picked card 2, then your crystal is rose quartz, and your message is embrace self-care. So are you taking proper care of yourself? Try and avoid overworking or caring too much for others, perhaps thinking about others' needs over your own. And your body needs time to rest and recharge. And if you can just take maybe more breaks, have a nap if you're able to, and those of you that are working, I would consider things like taking a day off or trying to perhaps make sure that you use your weekends to recharge your energy, don't just vegetate. And getting the work-life balance is really important for you this time. So definitely if you're feeling stressed, you need to look at that and you need to find ways to manage stress. You're being asked to put yourself first more. So those of you with families or partners, you'll know whether you're doing too much or not. And you need to also consider things like scheduling self-care and relaxation. It needs to be more a part of your week or evenings. So do some guided meditations if you can. I would definitely recommend those. There's lots of relaxation stuff and ASMR on YouTube for free that you can do. I've got a few meditations myself, so try using those. At the very least, you can do those in the morning, but they're very good at night, especially with helping you with sleep. So your affirmation that you can use is, I am worthy of self-care and well-being. So you can use that whenever you notice you're slipping into a bad habit of looking after others over yourself. If you are doing too much and you know that it's not good for you, particularly if it's not good for your health, then you can use this affirmation whenever, or it could be something you use every morning, every evening. Affirmations before bed, as I said, are really good. So the benefit of rose quartz this month for you is that it will help you with self-love, which is often the cause of you not taking as much care of yourself as you should, so overgiving. And it's also a soothing and calming stone, so it's perfect for stress, anxiety, worry, and overwork. And it also helps and encourages self-care. So if you don't have rose quartz or you want an alternative to it, you could also use rhodonite, pink opal, or any type of pink calcite. That includes one called Mangano calcite, which is a good one. If you're looking for more specific guidance, then check out my Pick a Card Readings playlist for more in-depth readings on focused areas of life, and also the annual yearly reading that I do if you haven't seen that already. And if you're an empath or feel overwhelmed by others' energy, then check out my recent video about crystals to protect your aura. And I also did a video which was a Q&A answering common questions about crystal grids, if that's something that interests you. And let me know in the comments which card you picked or which part of this reading most resonated with you. And you can also find my crystal books on Amazon and in other places in the links below the video. And remember to subscribe and select bell notifications so that you never miss a reading from me. Have a great month. So if you picked card 3, then your crystal is Ruby, and the message for you this month is to believe in yourself. And this has come up a lot in these readings over the last year or two. So this is a crown symbol, appears actually on the illustration I have done for this card. So that is a very strong symbol for you at this time. The crown, look out for it. Remember who you are. So you need to stop doubting yourself and don't let anyone influence you on your capabilities or discredit your knowledge on something. They don't know you, and you are being called at this time to step up in some way and take charge of your life. So some of you may need to step into things like a leadership position. You'll know if that is you or not. And you could be someone who just has to teach or guide others in some way. At the very least, you're going to have to look at being more empowered in yourself in your day-to-day interactions with people, and making sure that you are respected. People should be respectful to you. So don't let people step on you. Don't let people, if someone's rude to you, call them out. Say something to them. Tell them they're being rude to you, talking down to you, or you don't like the way they're speaking to you. And if you believe in yourself, then others will believe in you. You have the power and the ability, when you are in your power, to empower others. So you need to look at this. It's not an ego thing. It is your ability to help people come from that empowered point of energy that's within you. So you need to drop into the energy of being empowered and believing in yourself. And the affirmation that you can use to help with this is, I reclaim my power and believe in myself. So you can keep saying that to yourself whenever you can, or whenever you're feeling or doubting yourself. Try that affirmation in the morning, in the evening, whatever works for you. And the reason you do not need gem quality rubies, as you can see, this is not gem quality at all. And you can get really affordable tumble stones of ruby if you look online, and they tend to be more pinky purple in color. And this stone is super helpful for you because it helps you tap into personal power, helps you access your potential and to believe in that potential. And for those of you that do need to step into more of a leadership role or to guide others, it will help with that as well. And if you don't have ruby or you want an alternative, you could also work with tiger's eye, carnelian, particularly if you can get hold of the red carnelian or carnelian with more red tones rather than the orange, and scepter quartz, which is a quartz crystal that's shaped like a scepter. If you're looking for more specific guidance, then check out my other pick a card readings playlist for more in-depth readings focused on different life areas. There's also the annual yearly reading if you haven't seen that already. And if you're an empath or feel overwhelmed by other people's energy, then check out my recent video about crystals to protect your aura. And I also did a video about crystal grids. I did a Q&A video which covers some of the most common questions I get asked about crystal grids, so check that out if you're interested in those. And let me know in the comments which card you picked or which part of this reading most resonates with you. And you can also find all my crystal books on Amazon and in other places in the links below the video. And remember to subscribe and select bell notifications so that you never miss a reading from me. Have a great month.